ladies and men out there that think you've been ghosted, really, they just shat their pants. This is Personal Space, where oversharing is a way of life. So let's get personal. I'm your host, Greta Titelman, and today we will be exploring all things dating. Joining me are my beautiful friends. I have Greg Stone. You are a comedian.
Yes, I am.
And you are the co-host of one of my favorite podcasts, the Rad Dude Cast.
You listen?
I listen.
I love you.
I love it. I love it so much.
Thanks for having me. You're the
Thank you
best.
for coming on. We also have comedian Chelsea White. Chelsea, you were a producer for Girl Code, one of my favorite shows. And you also have a hilarious podcast, Ghosting Stories. And our expert of the day is Keren Eldad, who is a certified personal coach and love attraction coach.
Yeah.
I am so intrigued by what it means to be a love attraction coach. Can you tell us right now?
Sure. Life coaching is about one thing. It's about behavior modification. And love coaching is very similar, except the behavioral modification is going to pertain to what you're doing in love.
For those of you that are unfamiliar with ghosting, it's when you're hanging out with someone, you think you're vibing, and then out of nowhere, they just poof, vanish, dead, like a ghost. And then we're all just left wondering what the hell happened. So, guys, have you ever ghosted?
I don't ghost. I do more of a zombie thing where you think I'm dead, but I am still there, and I keep coming back. And you were like, I wish, well, we gotta cut this thing's head off? Yeah, you're gonna have to. 2 years later, I'm on the phone. I'm shooting you a text. I'm back.
Chelsea, you have your podcast, Ghosting Stories. You must have so many ghosting stories.
You know, I'm though kind of a poser. I'm more just fascinated by the art of ghosting.
Okay.
I have never properly ghosted or had someone ghost me.
Got it.
But we've had some incredible stories on our podcast about people being ghosted after like 2 years. I mean, it's
What?
a real thing. Yeah, it's up. Like,
That's
people
wrong.
are awful.
Like, you're saying people have been together for 2 years and then they
Yeah.
just drop off the face of the earth?
Yep.
Or is it like a post-breakup thing? Because some people consider a breakup and then dead silent ghosting.
Sure.
Do you think it's healthy to just like cut someone off once the relationship is done?
Well, it's not. Technically speaking, it is a reaction that's not going to be conducive to optimal results. First of all, I have been ghosted, so my heart goes out, and
What was your ghosting story?
it doesn't feel good.
What
No,
happened?
Years ago, I was dating this guy, and he was so hot I could cry, and everything was going very, very well. And then one day, after a particularly exciting escapade, he just never replied to my texts again. And I remember in that moment how much the blow to the ego felt like a real thing.
Well, because you thought that you guys shared like a really
Sure.
hot, steamy relationship.
We always do.
And the attraction was there.
The point is this, nothing happens suddenly. It's not coming out of nowhere. And the truth is, if you really go deep and actually ask yourself about the sequence of events, you know that there were some signs that this was possibly not soulmate love. And soulmate love is supposed to feel good to you, and it's supposed to flow. So ghosting inherently is actually a very good thing. It's somebody doing you a huge favor.
you're feeling
Is
them out.
saving you time.
Yeah.
Is saving you soul searching. Is
I'm pro
actually
ghost.
saying peace out, and you don't need to think about it that much anymore after you're done crying.
Call me Mother Mary, because I am a saint. 'Cause I have ghosted. I've ghosted on a lot of people.
Really?
Yeah, bye, don't have time.
How long has it been
I
before you
mean-
bounced?
I would say the longest was like 3 months.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Under
Yeah,
No, what, you think that's fine? And just like
Yeah.
cutting someone off after seeing, I think that there's an expectation that you will communicate again. Even if it's casual in 3 months, I think that you owe that person an explanation. Even give them a lie, like, hey, my situation changed. That's my go-to. Like, oh, I got
depends.
so,
It
more serious with
depends.
someone else, or like, I've been really busy lately.
Let me throw this at you. If someone ghosts you, right?
Yeah.
Then they're, no, and to be honest, they're probably too scared to tell you something. And do you want someone
Exactly.
in your life that
Exactly.
is too scared? So
Exactly.
the fact that they ghost you means
True.
you're better
Yeah.
off not being with that person.
I
Or
agree.
they didn't care enough to talk to you or care enough to have about your feelings.
You're looking for closure and validation, and you don't really need that because it's exactly the right perspective. The only assumption that is correct is that this person is not for me.
Right.
I think there's an obsession in our culture, specifically with women, the constant seeking of closure. And sometimes there's no such thing as closure, because sometimes all the closure you need is someone just like ending it, like you're saying, and sort of just like letting you know that it's done. Look, do I think it's shitty to tell someone you love them and then fall off the face of the earth? Yes, I've had that happen to me, and it fucking sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was terrible. And then I became obsessive, and I was like, you motherfucker.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
responded
yeah.
to me, and then I felt crazy.
Yeah.
And it turns out that guy had a girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then I don't want to know that
Can I tell you a story?
Yes.
Oh, this is a gross story.
I
am
love
so
it.
sorry.
Tell me.
I have to just tell you. I did ghost one person.
Okay.
It was before I had my license. She had her license, so she drove me to this
Hot.
date. She was a girl who I was in love with.
So let's clarify. You're 15.
Something like that.
Okay.
Fair enough. We went to an Indian place. We get there, I eat, problems.
Oh, no.
Right.
We get it. I run to the bathroom, did not make it. Unfortunately.
Greg.
I'm in a date with a woman who I was head over heels for.
Oh, no.
My pants in the bathroom. You can't go back to that date.
You can't.
Wait,
So
you
I
left?
climbed out the window,
Oh my God.
called a cab.
No.
Yep, ripped my jeans. So my jeans are now ripped in half. I'm sitting in a cab with ripped pants that I just am like, this guy's like, what happened to this guy? She was sitting at the restaurant for hours. Thought I went to the bathroom. She was talking to my brother. She was like, what the hell happened? That guy's he's a prick. Not until, I would say, maybe 15 years later, she was like, I have to know what happened. And I was like, I was in love with you. And she was like, I liked you. And I was like, I shit my pants. I shit my pants. And there was no other option.
To all of you ladies and men out there that think you've been ghosted, really, they
Yes.
just shat their pants.
Well, yes and no, but that's actually a very important
you don't
point.
know.
The important point to make is that in many cases, I have noticed that a woman doesn't hear from somebody for 3 days and assumes that he is A, dead, B, cheating, 3, not interested in her.
There is an interesting theory now about playing hard to get.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about playing hard to get? Because a lot of people feel that playing hard to get is the way to win hearts.
Yeah. If you go into a store and something's on sale, you go, why is this on sale? Why is this so easy for me to have? Is there something wrong with it? You don't know. I'm in a relationship for 9 years. Strictly through trickery. I tricked my girlfriend.
How?
We were having a good time. I go for it. She was like, yeah, right. Were you crazy? And I was like, okay. 2 weeks later, we're just kind of friends. We're hanging out. We're in my car. We're talking. And I was just like, thank God nothing happened between us. And she was like, what? And I was like, my best friend Horace, he's in love with you. And she was like, he is? I was like, he totally is. That's why nothing could ever happen between you and me. And then she was like, really? And I was like, yes. I can feel the passion, but we must fight this passion for the better good. And then she kept being like, really? And I was like, oh, it's too much for us. It's more than we can bear. And then we started hooking up. I played the thing that you couldn't have. And
Because
now,
it's like the naughty thing. It like
yes,
turns you
we
on,
couldn't
you
do
get
it.
hot.
Yeah.
Forbidden.
It's
Yeah.
definitely the forbidden fruit.
9 years we're together.
Chelsea?
I think playing hard to get is like a young man's game. It's like, that was interesting to me in high school, but now I'm an adult and I want someone to be straightforward. I want honesty. That's not to say I want someone who's desperate, and that's a fine line, right? Like,
yeah.
it's sexy to have your own life and like not be calling me every 7 minutes, but to me it's not sexy. Like, I had a guy recently text me after 2 months and was like, hey, what's going on? Like, wanted to check in. I'm like, that's too hard to get. Like, I don't want you.
There's a difference
Too
though
much
between
time.
Yeah.
transparency and honesty and throwing yourself. Like, nobody wants me that much. So whenever someone is throwing themselves at me, I'm like, there's something cooking,
Something going
something's
on.
off, because I'm not a win.
But that's something within you, Greg.
That
You
is
gotta
within me.
believe
I
that
know, I
someone
gotta
wants you
believe.
that much.
Hold on. Karen, in your expert opinion, how do you feel about playing hard to get? Because our experts at Personal Space do believe in what's something called the uncertainty effect.
Sure.
And saying that we're more attracted to people that we find ourselves in uncertain situations with.
Sure, and that was actually a fascinating study, Greta, the one with the mice, where they're more intrigued by cheese when it's withheld. What you're really doing when you're playing hard to get or playing anything or forcing a situation is you're operating from very low energy. You're operating from a place that has to be or pretend to have something that you don't naturally exude. And what's going to happen is, of course, it'll be reciprocated, because the only thing you'll attract is more frustrating situations, more difficult people, and people
Lies
who
attract
don't.
lies.
Lies attract lies.
totally.
In the opposite spectrum, the soulmate spectrum, when you're vibing high and you're all like about self-love and self-worth, you're going to be just texting the person back when you have something to say. And if you're busy, you're busy. That's a completely different story.
Well, I think people get so caught up in like, am I sharing too much?
I said, go share everything. Best relationship ever in my life was the one I'm in now, is because I invite her over. I was like, look, you want to be with me? These are my action figures. I collect action figures. I'm a comedian. I'm not going to make very much money. I also create action figures, and I've had eczema since I'm 12. You want all that? And she was like, I'm in. And I was like, all right, f it, let's do it. I put it all out there, and I said, this is the worst of me.
Right.
You want it? Take it.
Well, the question is when. The question is when, and here's why this is
Immediately.
also correct. It's not really about uncertainty. What's really happening is the principle that is most conducive to happiness, and that's earnership. We need to earn something in order to feel
Like
appreciation
earning
for it.
love.
That's why what you said, which is the too good to be true phenomenon in sales, doesn't register with us as humans. You have to earn in order to feel happiness, so you gotta trust the process. And so the next time that you find yourself just throwing caution to the wind and your underpants, or
My underpants
don't-
first.
your underpants first, or
wear
you really
underpants.
want to go with the flow,
Yeah.
check yourself before you wreck yourself. Take the time, because remember, you're trying them out too.
Right. According to one life coach, you can find your soulmate in 7 weeks. How is that possible?
First of all, I am that life coach. My program is 7 Weeks to Soulmate. It's called Date with Enthusiasm. But
I'm like, help us, Karen.
I am that man.
But here it is. So it is possible. And it is possible because, of course, we've seen examples. But here's the real secret. The whole point is not to fixate on 7 weeks. It's to fixate on soulmate. Because that is what 100% will align
we
you
define
in that.
soulmate,
Yes,
by the
that's
way?
what I was
We
about to
define
say.
this.
Let's take,
Soulmate.
exactly. So this is a
'Cause I
great
got big
moment.
beefs with this that we're gonna
Yes.
get into.
Cool.
Second.
Well, I hope you've never heard it like this before.
Okay.
The definition of soulmate based on most spiritual practices is a person who must appear to you, is ordained for you, must appear to you in this lifetime for the correction of your soul or for the elevation of your energy to the next level. You can see by this definition, by the way, how you can have more than one soulmate in your life. And finally, it is the easiest relationship of your life. Now here's the question. Which one works better for me? Does it work to not think that there are soulmates and to think that I'm doomed to be forever single? Or that there is a soulmate out there and I am going to find them, and all I need to do is get myself into alignment to meet them at that vibration? And that's really what the soulmate course is about. Because the thing is, when you do focus on 7 weeks, what you're really focusing on is the absence of the soulmate. You're basically beating the "are we there yet" drum. And "are we there yet" doesn't help. If you're in a car and you're driving to Disney World and you know you're on the right highway, it's gonna be there. You're on the right highway.
But are we there yet, Mom?
I know.
Get me out of this f***ing Mazda.
But it's not going to go any faster. Instead, if you get into alignment and just chill out and enjoy the ride, it will probably go a lot faster than you think.
I have big problems with people who say things like, you know, you meet somebody, you go, I'm so over heels, we're connecting, it's this thing. It's like, love is bullshit, okay?
Okay.
Love is bullshit. Love is not something that you find. Love is not something that happens. Love is work. Love to me is a commitment. Love is saying, I love you when I don't love you.
When you say love is work,
Yeah.
isn't it true that people like you, people like me, have chosen work that they actually love?
Of course.
So that already changes the dynamic and seeing it as work. And the second thing is, it is natural. Love isn't fake. Love is everything. It's the only thing. It's the only reason you love each other when you don't love each other. It's the understanding that love is never absent. So, technically speaking, you're in flow.
So, Karen, what you're saying is, if we radiate the soulmate energy out, it will come to us, right? Like you attract what you
Yes. 1,000,000%. And this isn't woo-woo. This isn't airy-fairy magic. This is literally an understanding that we're composed of energy, and the higher our energy vibration rises, the higher it will attract.
It's not this like hooky-pooky, like, oh, we're this interconnection thing. It's like, no, you don't curse at me. I want to be around someone who doesn't curse at me.
But your energy is naturally positive, so you will evoke a lot of positivity around
You'll
you.
attract.
I think that what Greg is saying is, hey, this is me. I have action figures. I shat my pants when I was 15.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it.
Love
And
it,
the
leave it,
person
baby.
that you're communicating with is radiating on the same level as you and is like, yeah, I'm gonna be your ride or die. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ghosting, playing hard to get, soulmates, we've really just covered it all.
We went in.
I think that the general consensus is that we shouldn't ghost, or maybe we should.
I was gonna say,
no, wait, maybe we should. I think we should ghost.
When it's appropriate, there's a
Situation
time
pending.
and place for ghosting. There's
Yeah.
a time and place for like your pants in an Indian restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a time and place for.
But if you're ghosted, love yourself.
If you're ghosted, love yourself. Thank you guys for coming on and joining me today. And to all of you out there, your soulmate is somewhere, maybe on your phone, maybe in a bar, in a plane, in a train. But regardless, we're here for you at Personal Space on Bravo TV.